Well, guys, all that hard work and goodwill that One Piece live action over on Netflix built up in season 1, flush it down the drain. One Piece season 2 screenwriter says upcoming villain Wapol is based on Donald Trump. Well, now I don't know about you guys, but we just recently had an election here in the US, and it was overwhelmingly positive for Donald Trump. He got reelected as president. 74 to 75 million people voted for him. So the smart play, I guess, if you want to have a successful season 2, is to piss off a portion of those 74 to 75 million people.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it pays off for him.
A screenwriter for Netflix's second season of One Piece claims that the upcoming villain Wapol is based on Donald Trump. And the now deleted, you damn right it was deleted, I guarantee you, Oda and Netflix went after this guy like, dude, you need to shut the hell up and delete that tweet. We are trying to have a successful live action One Piece season 2 here, and you're about to throw a fucking wrench into it and screw the whole goddamn thing up. That's exactly what they probably told him. In fact, honestly, I don't even know if I keep him on staff at this point. Anyway, Randy Troy over on X wrote, One Piece inspirations. The greedy and petulant Wapol is based on Donald Trump, whose family name comes from the German Drumpf, hence where drum gets its name. Look, that's an insult towards Trump. They use it as one anyway. That's what people, if they don't like Trump, they usually will try to throw that out there and refer to him as Trump. It's just like with that one guy on YouTube, his name I think is Tim Pool, but they'll usually call him Dim Pool. I mean, it's a play on name, and that's why they use it. It's an insult. And that's why he did this. I strongly believe that's why he did this. He added, in an almost prophetic turn from Oda, Trump's U.S. policies are riddled with healthcare management issues. The post was quickly community noted, with users revealing that Drum Kingdom and Drum Island, where Wapol reigns, was not inspired by Donald Trump, but by drum rock in Canada. And this is easy to check. Oda has been asked a lot of questions about One Piece. It's been out for 20 years, and we know a lot of those questions are about where people are from. For example, if you had to put Robin into the real world, where would she be from? Oda basically said Russia. And we have that for a lot of people in a lot of places. So this information was already out there. And this guy's either just an idiot or, well, an idiot. I'm sorry, there's no other option there. So here's the post. You can see what he kind of posted, which is, I don't think this guy knows One Piece. I don't think he knows One Piece, at least outside of what they're dealing with now with season 1 and season 2. Because if he did, and he's up to date on current day One Piece, he would understand that this person plays a bigger role than what you're going to see in season 2. Regardless of what Oda's inspirations for Wapol, the Drum Kingdom, and Drum Island were, it appears that Troy and his fellow writers at Netflix will be writing the character as a stand-in for Donald Trump. And see, this is the problem I have for any of these TV showrunners, writers, producers, video game devs, video game producers, and writers. They wear their politics and their identity, ideology, and agenda on their sleeve. That is all they are. Everything they touch gets infected with this ideology, with this agenda. They can't live in a real world like you and I and separate things. Everything is connected to politics. Everything is connected to their identity. That's the problem I have with Netflix. Netflix, they definitely do that because they have a lot of writers that are activists. And, you know, if you're an activist, well, everything you write has to have a slant on it that reflects your current identity or political agenda. All right. This is in direct contradiction to what co-showrunner, writer, and executive producer Matt Owens has said about live action adaptations that one can infer applies to One Piece as well. In an AMA on the television subreddit, Owens was asked, what advice would you give to showrunners of future adaptations of beloved manga and comics? He responded, my advice would be to fight for what you believe in. If you're adapting something that you legitimately love, fight for what it needs to be. And I'm going to give this guy a pass and assume that the interpretation of what he was trying to say is what I think it should be and not what an activist would interpret it to be. So I'm giving him a pass here. Stay as true as possible, also understanding that you're not the only voice and you may not always win, but your fandom and knowledge are powerful weapons. And that's the thing. The fact that, what was his name? Randy Troy wrote this on Twitter. I don't think he has the knowledge of One Piece. I really do not. I think he's just trying to own the chuds because, you know, he's probably upset his candidate lost the election. Well, who fucking knew? You got a job to do, dude. Grow up. Be mentally tough. Everybody's got to go to work. Pull the pants up, tie the belt, tie the shoes, put a shirt on, go to work, make a living. Everybody's got to do that, regardless of who's president. So shut the fuck up about your politics and do your damn job. Nobody wants to hear what you think about Donald Trump and how that might compare to, Wapol. Nobody wants to hear that. So shut up. Do your job. Keep your own politics, your own opinion out of it. Write the story. I mean, the story's already fucking written for you, dude. What are you doing? Outside of GARP, which was the best part of season 1, everything else is mostly the same. You might tweak it a little bit, but Oda has to approve everything. So you're not really going to add something brand new to it that's never been done before. And without Oda, signing off on. And I can guarantee you he's not going to sign off on something that's going to be as politically divisive as what you just fucking did on Twitter. If you're going to be so butthurt and whiny about Kamala Harris losing an election, how old are you? And this is the problem I have with a lot of people nowadays in the US. They are so fucking immature. They can't handle adversity like a grown-up. This is the give everybody a trophy generation. They've probably never been said no to. Their parents probably gave them everything they've ever fucking wanted. All right, I'm getting off on a rant here. Anyway, bring this back in. We're going to bring this back in towards One Piece. Nevertheless, the injection of political and immoral ideologies into the show is unsurprising, given the show casts a woman who pretends to be a man and calls herself Morgan Davies, despite her name being Morgana, to play Kobe. Yeah, I was kind of surprised. I didn't know initially when season 1 came out that this was a girl. I really didn't. But as meek and as small and as timid as Kobe was in season 1, I can see them making that potential connection and cast, because honestly, she did a good job in season 1. I like the way she did it. Now, she's going to have a problem portraying him later on if they get that far, and I highly doubt they will. But later on, he becomes more manly, starts to get more facial hair. He's more powerful. He's more manly built. So I don't think she can portray him in that manner. I'm honestly surprised Oda signed off on that casting. I would assume he has to sign off on casting, but I'm honestly surprised he signed off on that casting. Maybe he didn't think this would come back to bite him because he didn't think they were going to get that far. I don't know, but that did cause a little bit of drama. I don't know how much to the point that I don't think it will impact season 2, but this fucking will. This will piss people off. We are so politically divided. The moment you put politics into something that brings in like real world politics, you're almost guaranteed to cut your fan base in half. And dude, you might have just fucking screwed Netflix and One Piece over for season 3. You might have just cooked season 2, and not in a good way. You might have fucked it up for everybody because you were so stupid. You didn't have the mental capability to be mature enough to handle adversity and understand, you know what? You don't always get what you want. You can't go crying a fucking tantrum every single time. All right, let's Madam Savvy over on Twitter. She kind of has a similar viewpoint that I have. I do think this is going to severely hurt season 2. Oh, we had a good run. Also, this person clearly has no idea who Wapol is, because he becomes one of the most important characters later on when it comes to exposing the truth and corruption of the world. Boy, well, if you want to say he's like Donald Trump, then maybe you do have a comparison here. I mean, he's the one talking about cleaning the swamp and all this corruption and stuff. I mean, if you believe what he says. So maybe he was right, just not in the way he was intending. Who knows? Trying to attribute any character to anything against what Oda says makes you look like an absolute idiot to the fandom. Seldom are named characters just one-offs, which is also what makes Oda so brilliant at storytelling. And again, people like this guy can't help but try and tie things in to a character that makes them feel good, makes them feel better about the situation they're in. Because you know what? They're mentally ill-equipped to handle the real world. And that's what it seems like, honestly. It's down in the comics. Morons like Hassan also believe the Straw Hats are socialist. They're delusional. Fighting against the world government isn't at all what their cult believes. Hassan champions terrorists. He is not a serious person. Well, that portion is definitely true. Now, this person... Okay, he took a middle of the road opinion here. We'll wait till it's released, but not surprised. It's Netflix. They cannot help themselves. Try to warn people. Getting anime into Hollywood Netflix is temporary boost that will lose the original fans quickly as the West's influence ruins it. And that's part of my big concern when they do things like this. Netflix is notorious for race swapping, gender swapping, taking the lore of something and just throwing it right out the window and doing whatever the hell they want. They're notorious for that. Look at what they did with The Witcher. They were so horrible with The Witcher that Henry Cavill left the show. And he was perfect for that role. He was a geek and fan of The Witcher. He had the books on set. He was going through, he was perfect for that job. But this lady show writer couldn't handle writing a male-focused show, so she had to make women more predominant. And eventually, season 3, they became essentially the main character. So he's like, I'm out of here. If this is how you're going to treat this IP and this character, I'm done. Savvy goes on to say, Oda only did this so he could have control. He didn't want to do live action, but he doesn't want anyone to touch the story after he passes either. And you know there are execs frothing at the mouth waiting for that day. I don't know if that would have happened, but yes, he only did this so he can maintain control. And that's the only reason season 1 was as good as it was, because he maintained control and power to approve and disapprove whatever he felt was appropriate for season 1. He wasn't even big on how they expanded Garp in season 1, but they convinced him and he okayed it. But he specifically outlawed like any sort of inter pirate crew relationship. He did not want the Straw Hats to have relationships with each other, which outside of a porn parody, I think is a smart move, honestly. So you guys gotta let me know what you think. I think this is a major mistake because season 1 was a risk, and I think we were lucky that it was as successful as it was. And I think Oda was a big reason for that. Going into season 2, I think this guy severely hurt the potential chances of season 2. I think he royally screwed it up. So let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Did you watch even season 1? Are you planning to watch season 2? Does this impact your desire to watch season 2 at all? And if you liked the video, hit the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more content, and I will talk to you guys next time.